Not too sure how
Sorry.
much any of you know of Empiraa, but we've been a partner of Silicon Beach. We're a business planning and execution platform. So we were founded out of the need of clearer and more concise sort of planning execution tools when it comes to setting up a business or sharing your organization's overall plan with your team and giving them the functions and the ability to start executing against the plan. What it primarily does is unlock, say, the founder's IP and embeds it into the platform. They can share their overall business plan with their team, and they can start collaborating together towards success. I mean, I don't know how many times you've been in a sales meeting or a strategy session where the best laid out plans are made, everybody comes together, but the execution just falls off. And this is really the problem that we try to solve by making it really clear, simple, and getting the founder off the tools and back onto working on the business as opposed to in the business, and sharing that vision with their team. So Empiraa, we're a Melbourne-based startup. We've been around, in theory, from, say, 2020. We launched over 18 months ago now, and we've been helping startups, SMEs, enterprise, and also franchises with their strategic implementation. Our platform is really easy to use, really shrouded in simplicity, embedding AI and API connection to make it even more sticky with your day-to-day tech stack. And we pride ourselves on our service and our support as well. So we've got a really experienced team that take clients through to the end-to-end solution, from helping them set up their plans to executing on the platform, creating the API connections and so forth. So I think, generally speaking, it's no better time to show you what we do. I'll go through the platform, but basically what I'm going to show you now is a bit of a case study. It's a new company, it's a startup. They're a coffee manufacturer, and their point of difference is that they source their own beans, they manufacture and grind here in Australia, and they custom make pods to fit any coffee machine that is available on the market, all based online, and they deliver to your doorstep. So that's the whole premise of what we're going to go through today. Now, being a small group, I don't know if you have any questions, you can chime in as you see fit, or if you want to leave them to the end, it's entirely up to you. I'm easy either way, but no better time to get started. So I'll just share my screen and we'll get rolling. Dave, we can see that. We're all good?
We can see it. Yes, go for it.
All right. So this is the onboarding portion of the platform. So it allows whoever signs up, primarily, say, founders and business owners, to start embedding their organizational details into the platform and start to unlock their vision, right? So upload company logo, put their company organizational details in, how their financial year runs. From there, they can input their organization vision statement. So if they've got one already established, great, they can put it in there. But we've also got some tips and tricks to help you along the way. Sometimes getting started is the hardest part. So we've embedded AI into the platform to help you get started with a vision statement, but also some templates to help you along as well. So once you've inputted your vision statement, next up, core values. So core values are a massive part of the why as to why you're in business, right? So identifying your value proposition is really important. We've allocated a bunch of values that are synonymous with business, growth, and success. You can select up to 8 of whatever you need to, or you can also add a custom core value. If nothing here resonates to what the driving force behind your values are, you can create your own as well. So once you've embedded your values, you jump over to the next step and you start building out your pillars of growth. Now, your pillars are the top line vision, where you want to be, and in what time frame you want to get there, right? This is where you paint with really broad strokes and you really get to see where your vision is going to take you. So we've allocated over 160 different options when it comes to setting your pillars. Anything from branding, customer, financial, logistical, marketing, people, culture, operational. We run the gamut, right? But all you need to do is allocate your first pillar. Then free text. You can give your pillar a name. For us, we've got sales, and this is our sales optimization, right? So optimize sales by refining a sales process, analyzing customer data, and identifying upsell opportunities. You give it a date range, how far you want this pillar to run from. Now, again, getting started can be hard. So to help you along, we've also embedded AI. So you can ask AI to build you a pillar. Question? I think your mic's on.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt too soon for the presentation, so I'm happy to wait until the end of a certain section.
It's all right. We can knock it out now. That's fine. No
yeah,
issue.
cool. Do the organizations who join Empiraa know what to expect before they start? Because these slides, like, do they normally have a list of questions and then they come in and start using the platform, or are they workshopping this as they go? Because some of these are quite they're big picture stuff and they might not have ever thought of it before. Like, how do organizations get to this point?
Yeah, so we work with, say, accelerated programs, and they obviously lay out the foundation of what an expectation may be. So that discussion takes place prior to the onboarding portion of the platform. But if someone's on the website, they'll go through a bit of a demo, and they'll see what the expectation is when they're onboarding with the platform as well. There's multiple junctions within the interaction with the website and us where they can book a demo with us beforehand, and we sort of set the scene as to what the expectation is. So they may need a workshop what their values and vision and what their pillars are, because they probably haven't established that to begin with. But if they are going through the process somewhat green, that's why we do embed AI and have templates embedded into the platform as well, to give them a fighting chance to get started and to start visualizing what their growth path may be. But we also work with advisors who have their own clients, and their clients obviously work with the advisor beforehand, and they embed their plan into the platform as part of their consulting as well. So there's many different ways to approach it, but generally speaking, we'd probably premise it with the client beforehand if we had the opportunity, but we give them multiple prompts through the marketing, through the website as well.
Thank you.
No worries. All right, so pillars are obviously the foundation as to which is, holding up the business and where you need to go within the growth of your company. So for instance, we've got our sales pillar. If you scroll down, we've got service, right? Provide an excellent customer experience, be the best. Again, give it a date range. Sales and marketing, online growth, digital marketing, operational innovation, product innovation, shipping, inventory, and then your financial plan. You're going to make money, what's your MRR, that type of thing. Again, like I said, we've embedded AI, so you can ask AI, and you can actually go through and type out, what does a pillar set look like for growth, for sales, for marketing, whatever the case may be. But we've also got templates to help you get started. So you've built out your pillars of growth. Next up, this is where you can start bringing in the team into the plan. So for this business plan here, we've got logistics, HR, sales and marketing, the executive team, operations, and our customer success team. Again, completely subjective. All you need to do is add a team, free text, allocate the teams as you see fit. It could be just the executive team that have access to the platform. Being a startup, it's generally the founder, one or two other individuals, even if that's the case, even if you're that far along. Again, it's open world. You can do whatever you want with that. Then you get to allocate your team. So we've got 0 and CSV file upload if need be, if you've got a bulk volume of team members, or you can just go through and add your team members, basic first name, last name, organizational email, their role and access level. So once you've done that, it's time to allocate your team members. And it's just as easy as sliding them in and out of the team as they see fit. You have an opportunity here to type in your own organizational URL, which will be able to share the plan with internal or external stakeholders as well. So then what that does is it drives you to building out your objective set and landing in the My Hub. Now, My Hub is our dashboard. My Hub is where your plan lives and breathes, and where everyone in the organization can see what you've built out, how they're going with the platform, how everything is tracking, and then they get to collaborate on the success of these objectives that have been allocated to them. They can collaborate and then see the growth path from there. So we try to gamify the platform a little bit, right? So up the top here, you've got your Empiraa, your Empiraa profile with your Empiraa engagement level, right? You allocate points based on the volume of engagement you have on the platform. You've got achievements earned and the news feed up here as well. Now, if you scroll down, you can see how it all plays out. Now, our first pillar, which was our financial plan, right? So we need to, obviously, being a startup, we need to raise our first money. How do we go about doing that, right? We need to set ourselves up for success. So the best way to do that is lay out a list of objectives as to which you need to start executing. So to begin with, our top line objective that we've built out is raise our first money, right? Outline the process. It's a high impact to the business. We've allocated it's got a due date of the 31st of December, 2023. Now, what do we need to do for that to happen? So you can build out aligned objectives. This is your top line objective. This is where you need to go. How are we going to do it? So we've built out, okay, we need to find some advisors and founding team members. We need to create a pitch deck, create a pitch video, demonstrate traction, get all your docs in order, create a list of investors, forecast revenue if you can, and then they're obviously looking at evaluation. Now you can start seeing how this all plays out. Obviously, the impact to the business overall is high for all of these, because obviously raising your first money is ultimately so important. The due date as to which this is all due, and then your run rate based on when it's due and how far along you are. So as you can see, raise our first money. I've done this as a task, as an OKR, and we need to achieve 100% completion. But if you scroll down, you can see how far along each objective we actually are. So for valuation, we're at 40%. Revenue forecast, we've hit 100%. Investor list, we're at 70%. All your docs are done. Now, traction, we're lagging behind. We should be at 33.3% based on the timeline we've allocated ourselves. We're only at 10%. Now, obviously, the traffic light system is a visual indication as to how far along the process you are. Create a pitch deck video.
Tim, can I jump in here quickly? Is there any time allocation, hours allocation in those tasks as well?
You can define a different timeline. So these are due monthly. So these are tracked monthly. So you put in your progress over the course of a month. You can do that weekly or quarterly if you need to as well. They're the timelines. They're the checkpoints that you can allocate yourself. So the narrowest point of time at the moment within the platform is a week. So weekly check-ins to see your progress along the way.
Okay, cool.
But all this does, all these individual statistics roll up to the top line objective. So all these percentages of completion roll up to the top line. So raise first money, we're 58.57% complete. We're only expected to be 33.3% done within the time frame being due on the 31st of December. So overall, we're tracking really good, right? Obviously, we know that we need to work on our pitch and work on our traction, right? But overall, we're doing all right. These are the visual indicators as to hold you accountable and get you really going with planning out your journey to success. Now, these are all allocated to me. I'm the founder, right? I don't have that many team members on board as yet. I don't have any. But if you did, you'll be able to allocate these to the team members as they come on board to the organization. Now, these are tasks, right? But we have more to track within the platform above and beyond a task. You know, we have OKRs and we have KPIs, and they can be measured as a financial, or they can also be measured as a metric as well. So you can see here, we've got our sales pillar. And what are the objectives we built out for the sales? Obviously, we need to start demonstrating traction, right? What are we going to do in terms of what our sales process is? So let's have a look. So, we need to have a look at building out a reseller network. What's our CRM? Well, we want to allocate and we want to embed HubSpot as our CRM, for argument's sake, right? Secure product partners and organize Stripe payments. So these are all the functions as to which we need to start building out and what we need to support our sales process. Now, within the aligned objectives, you can actually build out subtasks, right? So yes, we know we need to allocate HubSpot CRM. What else do we need to do within that HubSpot CRM? Well, we need to create a sales pipeline, and we need to link it through API to Xero. So you can start building out your micro tasks, which feed into your allocated aligned objectives as well. But what it does is it starts painting a clear picture and a clear path to where you need to go and start executing against that as well. Now, if I wanted to look at so that's based on level of completion, but now I want to look at what does a sales metric look like, right? So this is our 2023 sales target. Now, we've got a lofty expectation of $1 million of revenue by June 2024. How are we going to do that? Well, we're defining our sales teams within the two different states right now. We've got New South Wales and we've got Victoria. We've allocated $500,000 per state, but because we don't have any revenue, obviously they're at zero. But just say, for instance, I've sold $1,000 to my mate, right? I've got my concept done. I've built out some pods. I've found some coffee that he likes. Let me ship that off, and I've charged him $1,000 for that. So I can go into here and I can enter my actuals, right? So let's look at July. I've done nothing, but I've made $1,000 worth of sales in August. Let's submit that data. Now we can come back and let's look at our sales target now. All right. So only $1,000 hasn't even moved the needle. We're expected to be at 83,000 right now. So that would indicate maybe my expectations are too high or the timeline's too far out, whatever the case may be. But it does show that I'm $1,000 in, which then rolls up to the top line to show that I've got 1,000 of my $1 million. So you can start tracking your success. Now that's a manual input. You can definitely link that up to a HubSpot or a Xero or whatever external cloud-based platform that you're using to bring data in and out as well. Now, if we're looking at, say, a metric, right? We've got our marketing plan here. I've allocated a metric amount, which is 1,488. What that means is the individual metrics that I've assigned against my marketing plan, right? So I need to find, over the course of the year, I need to find 48 brand ambassadors. I want to do 120 LinkedIn posts. I want to do 120 Instagram posts, and I want 1,200 unique hits on our website. All those figures aggregate to that 1,488. And as you can see, you can start seeing the traction against that as well. So that's based on a metric. So you can build out a metric number and then distribute that into the different sectors of objectives that you want to allocate. And then obviously there's innovation, right? So you can build out a plan to look at your operational plan, secure production and machinery, source beans, secure a site, source inventory. Obviously, we're looking for funding, so we don't have any of this allocated as yet. But what it does, it outlays, once that's been allocated, once I've got my funding, this is the next step. This is where I need to start allocating my funds and my time and the personnel. Now, collaboration is a big thing on the platform. So once you've allocated your objectives and you want to bring your team in, they can also collaborate on each objective as well. So if you hover over the objective, you can click into it. Now, it gives you the objective detail. So it sort of takes you on a bit of a journey around where you are within that objective. Now, a little bit of a fun fact about Empiraa. So our founder, Ash Brown, loves Star Wars, right? And So Empire was taken. I think there's a few copyright issues with that word. So he landed on the word Empiraa. Same but different. And his pug here, Anakin, in real life, takes you on the journey of the objective, right? A little bit tongue in cheek. It really aligns with who we are as an organization as well. We don't take ourselves too seriously, but we're dead serious on helping people obviously execute their goals. But it just shows that the journey as to which you're going to take. Anakin takes you on that journey, how far you've completed, where you expected to be based on that timeline, and where you predicted to finish, right? Jump on that rocket ship, take you right to the end of that objective. Scrolling down, it shows you where you're at with the objective, right? You're 58% through when you raise your first money. But further down, you've got your message log. Now, the message log is really cool because whoever's working on that objective can leave notes for themselves within the platform, but they can also create individual chats with different individuals within the platform, right? Do you need a hand? Do you have any supporting documentation to facilitate this objective? Whatever the case may be, right? But what it does, it drives the conversation purely around the objective. You're not getting lost in email trails or Slack chats. It's really harnessed and focused conversation purely around that objective. You get notified within the platform if you've got something waiting for you, whether it be an objective is due or someone's left the chat for you with a little bell notification there. But also you'll be emailed to let you know if you're not living in the platform, which we don't expect everyone to be living in the platform 24/7, you'll be prompted via email as well to bring you back to the platform to start working on whatever has been left for you as well. Like I said, you can upload some files to a Google Doc or whatever the case may be to back up the conversation in the platform as well. Now, jumping back through, sometimes a board or sometimes an investor just wants bird's eye view. Just give me the top line. I don't want to get too nitty gritty with everything. Where are you at with everything that you're outlined, right? Great. Up here, you can click on the organizational tab. Now, this gives you that exec view, that bird's eye view of the platform. So from vision statements to your core values, but what it does, it also just breaks down real top level. What are your pillars? What are your objectives? How far along, right? Not getting too caught up with the granular detail. It's all there waiting for them in one page. You've got your team view up here as well, which outlines your full team members. You can move them in or out of the platform as well. Now, going back to My Hub, and a bit more around, and again, questions are open to everybody. I work with a really diverse group within my role. So obviously I head partnerships and growth, and that sort of encompasses every sort of aspect of the business. But basically from the startups we work with, it may be just the founder or one or two people, or it could be a SME, which is someone who's got 3 or 4 people in their team. They're on the tools. They want to step back a little bit and start facilitating their plan. Or it could also be an enterprise or a franchise. What it does, it gives them the ability to start unlocking their vision, gets their team involved, creates a lot more clarity around the plan. There's no gray area. Like, what am I doing as part of my role? Or, what's the benefit of me doing this? Or how do I contribute to the team? It's all here in one page. And then they can start seeing the vision overall as well. Now, we do work with advisors, and they've got a large client list as well. So they can jump in and look at Switch Organization tab, and they can jump in to any one of their clients' plans at any one time, right? Again, gives them complete access to the business plan they've built out with their client, complete clarity. They can see how they're tracking at any one time, and they can create billable hours based on that conversation at a snapshot, as opposed to that phone call or that quarterly meeting where the conversation could have been preempted if they just jumped in and had a look at the plan. Question?
What's your target customers? Like, at what size or scale of business are you looking to support? It looks like it can support any, but what's your sweet spot for the kind of businesses that you're after supporting?
Our sweet spot, and good question, because obviously when you go to market, right, you think you're going to sell to or appeal to everyone and anyone who's got a business. But after feedback and testing and really understanding the market, it's that startup and SME sort of profile, anywhere between, say, 0 to 40 heads, 40 seats. is really the sweet spot where they can build out and share the plan with a really rich subset of objectives to their audience, right? So, and working with, say, an advisory network with, business strategists, consultants, accountants, and so forth, their general clientele fits that same demographic, being that startup to that SME profile. That's generally where we work. Yes, we've got franchises. Yes, we work with enterprise as well. But for the most part, that's our sweet spot.
Okay, thank you.
Beautiful.
What is the largest customer that you're working with headcount wise, Dean?
Largest at this point in time, I think about 32 seats within the plan. Generally, for the most part, it's anywhere between, say, 8 and 30 is that larger scale. That's probably the larger end. But on the smaller end is from, that 5 to 10. It's basically an executive team and, head of marketing, head of sales, head of operations, that sort of demographic. And we do have clients that utilize the platform purely for collaborational work. So they'll set pillars purely around their quarterly meetings, and they build out a subset of objectives that they want to execute for the following quarter, purely around those meetings. And everyone sits together and they collaborate and they roll out the plan, and they use the platform as the live facilitation tool to those plans as well.
That's the thing about using the term startups, isn't it? A startup can be a startup for 5 years, 6 years, and be running, as opposed to, somebody who's just started their business and is in the first year or two. Like some businesses could get to 5 people in the first 12 months because they've got an amazing product and they hit the ground running. Some people could be slow starters, and 6 years in, they suddenly start employing people. So startups is really broad when it comes to timing, but a tool like this seems beneficial. I see the biggest benefit being, putting an order and a structure around aligning everybody onto the same page, and probably a year out before they're going to go raise capital for the first time, because this is an excellent way to keep metrics and to show that there's you're going to go into due diligence, you've been preparing for it. I see this as an excellent tool from that perspective as well. Oh,
look, no doubt, and you're so right, because what's the definition of a startup? Like, we're essentially a startup. We've been rolling for nearly 2 years now, and we've got really large organizations that we partner with. We partner with single head startups who are just getting off the ground. But we're still a startup ourselves. Where do we fit in that mix? Trying not to pigeonhole ourselves is really important, right? Because everyone's plan is unique to them, and they obviously see the benefit in what we do. Very much so. Like, we work with a lot of exit strategy consultancies as well, right? So they use the platform on the tail end of the journey. So again, due diligence, potential buyers may want to see P&Ls, but then they also want to see how they got there. And this is a really good way for them to start visualizing that plan as well. Question?
Yeah, I think the term scale up would also apply as well, which is the next one for people ready to jump to the next level. They get benefit from that too.
100%. Yeah.
James. Thank you, Dean, for your presentation. Just one main question. I like the simplicity in some ways. I definitely like the percentage. When I'm trying to start my own business, you really want to reduce complexity, and that I just like the look of it. But I have a question about: did you mention anything about a critical path, or do you have a critical path method involved in this software?
Can you elaborate on the definition of a critical path?
So forgive me. Like if you have a project if you're using a project management approach, it's kind of like a series of events that have to happen before you can start another task. So you might have had your 2 different within one pillar, you might have a few different tasks, but one task can't really start until the next.
Yeah.
And it just kind of layers that out. It's sort of like a something of a flow chart, if you like, or a
Yeah. So I've built this out obviously with simplicity in mind, right? But
yeah.
all the, say, for instance, raise first money. You could base this on, the due date for the top line. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So
Is that, but then you can do, you can base this on the sequence of events that each new objective won't start until you've completed one. So this may be due on by Feb 24,
Right.
it may be due on March 24. You know what I mean? So you can allocate the date range per objective to flow as a pinch point and for the next one to start commencing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So basically that's more or less the same thing. So yeah, it does. Yeah.
That's exactly. You can definitely do it that way. I've done it really simplicity in this instance because just didn't want to overcomplicate the process. But we do definitely have that ability. And what I'll do, I'll quickly show you how to build out an objective. Right. So all it does, again, simplicity is key. So you can align. Obviously each objective is aligned to a pillar. So you just pick one of the pillars that you've currently selected previously in the onboarding portion. So online growth, right? For instance, again, this is free text. So what do you need to do for your online growth? This could be, invest in a marketer. Now, give it a description, whatever your case may be. Now, if you get stuck, again, we've got AI. So you can ask AI what type of business you're running, what are your goals, what time period, and what the objective to look like. You can run that, right? Who is going to run this? Who's the champion of this, right? So for instance, I'll put myself in there. Dean, sales and marketing. Now, is this a KPI or an OKR? KPI generally is going to align to a financial or a metric. OKR is generally going to align to a skill or a task. Skills or tasks is that 0 to 100% completion rate, right? Where it'll be a KPI is more of that financial or that metric target. So invest in a marketer, right? KPI, financial, we're going to invest 100 grand a year in a marketer. We want to hit on or below that. We don't want to exceed that budget. What date range you want to allocate that between? Again, this is where that prior conversation, the prior question comes into play, where you start allocating a broader or a shorter date range within the pillar range for your objectives, right? What impact it has to the business and how you want to capture the data, whether it be monthly, quarterly, weekly, and what day of the month. You save those changes, you've pretty much just built out your first objective. It's as easy as that. But generally speaking, guys, this is the platform in a nutshell. It is very much open world, and you can start creating whatever plan you want. So you get to unlock someone's IP, whether it be a business owner, if it's been in business for X amount of time, or a startup or a scale up, like you said. But also it just gives people and the team complete clarity around what they're doing, how they're doing, and how they're going to get there. Do any other questions at this point in time?
So when I'm a first time early founder and I do not have I'm not in a cohort in an accelerator at the moment, I can have the AI basically create a template for me what I have to do and work around that.
Yeah, so we've got our knowledge base within the platform, which has a bunch of links and helpful hints for people to get started. But again, we've also embedded templates based on different organizational types, being startup, where you can jump in and it will share what an objective looks like, what your pillars should look like, what your objectives should look like, and then you can copy and paste that data into the platform to help you get started. If need be, we do have other templates where if you're on board and you book a demo with me, I'll be able to walk you through some of the basic criteria around what setting up may look like. Laura, you got a question?
Sorry, hang on, just coming off mute. Amazing system. So I'm just in the process of starting a business and obviously have been putting things on paper, which is incredibly time consuming, and my business partner doesn't live in the same place as me. So collaborating over that, this would obviously solve many, many problems that we're having. You mentioned before with the subscription model, so you subscribe to this. I'm assuming there are different pricing structures and how that works.
Yeah, most definitely. What I'll do, I'll go through that in the next slide. So I will get around to the pricing model, because based on where you sit within an organization, whether you're a startup or you're a SME or a franchise, the requirements are different. So I'll go through the pricing in a couple of minutes. But yeah, I won't forget.
Yeah, no, amazing. I did have another question, and it's the recording. David, this might be for you. I noticed you're recording this. Yeah. Is there any possibility that I can get this recording so that I can pass this information on to my business partner and I can show him what it's all about? Or Dean, is there something on your website that kind of goes over this in the detail that you've just gone over it?
We've got a sort of guided tour on the website around the platform, but also you can always book a demo with me directly if need be, and we can go into a bit more intricacies if you'd like.
Yeah, that would be great. I think there's no way I could repeat what you just said.
All good. All good. No, not a problem.
The link to the recording will be sent to you once it's uploaded to YouTube as well.
Oh, fantastic. Amazing. Thank you. That's all.
Awesome. Alexander.
What have you got happening integrations wise? Because I'm looking at this and thinking a fantastic way of organizing things, and thinking kind of gives me an Asana vibe in terms of creating projects and timeframes and that kind of thing. And organizations might be using things like Asana for task management. Have you got integrations happening between your platform and other programs?
Yeah, basically, if they have they're cloud based, and we can create a connection through, say, a Zapier or whatever, through API, we can connect pretty much to anything. So like us internally, we use HubSpot as our CRM. So we're pulling, call data, we're pulling demos, meetings, whatever the case may be, right into the platform. That can be pushed out as well. But if they're running a Xero for their accounting, and or Stripe for their payments, or whatever the case may be, if they're running an Excel spreadsheet, we can pull data from that as well. So yeah, integrations are a massive part of the platform.
Fantastic.
So if there are any more questions around the platform, what I also will touch on beforehand as well is there are multiple views, right? I'm in the full view, which is the executive view. But if you have multiple people within to see all of the information, that you want to see what they've been allocated to. There's also a team and user view.
Dean, something happened to your audio. Sorry,
If you will only show them what they've been allocated to, and they don't see everything else. So they only work on what they've been given. If you want to give everybody full view, you got nothing to hide, or there's nothing that is sensitive information, you can give everyone the full view as well. But what I'll do, I'll stop sharing that, and I will share.
Is everyone on the call? If you can't speak, but if you have questions, please just pop in the chat and we will pick them up there.
Give me 1 sec.
No worries. So James, what are you using in your business at the moment to keep yourself accountable and on track? Oh, can't hear you.
Sorry, David. Using Asana, and it's going okay. I've only got myself and one assistant at the moment, virtual assistant. I think in the long term, I would like to onboard some more staff. particularly freelancers, which is where Asana is a bit limited at times. It's kind of good like a personal diary, but maybe not as a management tool. At least that's my feeling about it. So yeah, I'm interested in this software.
So going into the pricing, right? So we've got our Launchpad pricing, which is a bundle, right? So it includes up to 5 seats within the organization, right? So we're not charging per seat. It's basically you've got up to 5 seats allocated. So as you grow, the plan that you're on and the platform grows with you, right? So what you get with that, obviously the 5 licenses, but also you get full onboarding and training with myself and the team. So that'll include multiple sessions. So whether it be the initial demo, or if that is a team sort of collaborated demonstration, or actually helping you on board. So if you've got some of your plan written out and you need a helping hand going walk through the platform, construct an objective, and so forth, we do that for you as well. Full designer suite, being that we can help you obviously create, but also if there are some integrations that you need to embed, you can let us know. We can start creating those through Zapier or whatever the case may be as well. That's the pricing structure currently. Yeah, so $29 per month, nothing locked in. You can go annual if you wanted to, but yeah, most people like the freedom of a subscription at this point in time.
With the seats, do you find that organizations invite every single person who works for them, or are they selective onto who they invite into the platform? Because the difference between 5 and 10, if you've got like junior workers who really aren't going to contribute, how do you find people choose to pick seats?
Yeah, it's based on like who's going to actually be able to embed that information to the platform, right? So it may be that you've got the executives, and it could be, say marketing, head of marketing, it could be head of sales, the head of each department would generally have a seat in the plan. But if the team is more established and you want to, if they're very sales centric, for instance, right, they might go over to Momentum, $49 per month, 10 seats, and they've got 5 people in the sales team, then they'll allocate everyone to that plan, because then they're distributing the sales objectives to each individual, and they'll start collaborating individually as well on the plan. So if you're in a warehouse, the guy on the forklift or the pick packer may not be the one to allocate information into the platform, but the operations manager or the warehouse team leader may be. So it's all based on who's going to need to contribute to the platform.
Yeah, makes sense. Thanks.
So basically, from me, the value here is, if you guys are interested, if you see that it may solve a problem or create some more clarity around what you're working on or someone else, reach out. The website, it's just Empiraa, EMPIRAA.com. You can sign up. There's a 14-day free trial. Definitely feel free to reach out. But also my details, I'll get all my details. I'll put them in the chat also if you want to reach out. Definitely we can book a demo with myself. Give me a call. We can even just have a chat around what you're working on, and we can go forth from there, explore a little bit further.
Thank you, Dean.
James, over to you.
Yep, no, I was just saying thank you. It was a very good presentation, and yeah, I appreciate the time you've put into it, and I'll go away and have a look and see how it could fit into like the future structure of what I'm doing. But yeah,
most definitely, and yeah, that goes for everyone. The free trial's on there, so you can definitely have a look if it's a good fit. But you can reach out on LinkedIn. You can reach out. I've got my email and phone number in the chat. But also, what it is just helping communities grow and giving them the clarity around their planning.
Excellent. And as James said, he's thinking of using it together with his virtual assistant. So it's not just for your internal team. You can measure the performance of your external team members or contractors as well.
Yeah, that would be definitely entertaining to me if I could. I should have asked that as well. Like that you were saying you can bring in external freelancers and things like that, Dean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the advisors we work with are freelance that, you know, they're working externally to an organization. They brought the organization in, they're sitting on that as well. So you can bring multiple
Okay.
sources in as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably in the coming months, I'm still in a very much development phase, but it can see it being extremely beneficial in the future. Yeah.
Beautiful. And look, this is, you know, we're 2 years in, so future developments, when it comes to, say, more reporting, you know, pulling data from the platform, adding to an external reporting, whatever the case may be, these are all on the cards. We're constantly listening to our client base. So, you know, we didn't start with AI and we didn't start with templates, and, you know, those type of frameworks, but we do constantly listen to our clients, find out what the needs are, and try to embed them as we grow as an organization as well.
Excellent. And when picking on the advisor and consultant side of things, so you're saying, did I get that right? You're saying that the consultant for a larger organization is using basically Empiraa to report how their service impacts the business?
Yeah, so we have a large network of strategists, advisors, consultants that partner with Empiraa. And generally speaking, their consulting work may be just a verbal conversation or some spreadsheets, you know, or a plan on a page, right? And the execution point really falls off because it's a lot of manual lifting to make sure that their client is motivated to execute against their plan. They can transfer that into the platform, roll it out to their client. The advisor can sit within the platform as a user, and they get complete transparency and visibility against how their clients are performing, what they need to do to help them, you know, facilitate their plan. But it gives them complete clarity, makes their work matter, and really embeds their IP with their client into the platform. That's the benefit. That's the value add for our advisor network as well.
Cool.
David, as an accountant in practice, so you know the opportunity that you'd see there is then to say, wow, there's lots to talk about if you were doing a monthly meeting with your clients, if you had a platform like this to then sit back and say, let's check against milestones. Because sometimes the hardest thing is finding continual conversation points, and especially with younger businesses, you've got 100 different things you could be talking about. You've got the financials, you've got operations, and there are lots of aspects of the business that accountants don't necessarily touch. So I'm sure your accounting network partners, Dean, appreciate the fact that they can have an overall view that the businesses that they're advising are going in the right direction and thinking about things that they need to be thinking about while they're focusing on, you know, the financial aspect, but it's also a foot in the door to help them do a whole lot more. I was sitting back during the presentation and just thinking about which segment of my client base it'd be the most appropriate for, because you've got the businesses that come in and they say, I'd like to set up a company because I want to get started, and I think it'd be too early in the journey for them. But then you've got a whole bunch of them who are keen on growing and they've hired the first 3 or 4. I think when you said, you know, looking at businesses that had 5 employees or up that were looking to take it to the next level, I think that could be a real sweet spot. So I'll reach out to you, Dean, to have a chat about your partner program and how you work with accounting practices in particular for the work that you do, because I think it's pretty cool.
No, mate, appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. Love it.
Awesome. Do we have any more questions while we have the chance? We'll have Dean here on the call. Dean put his email address, phone number, and we have the website, the URL in the chat as well. So please use that. And
I thought of one more question. Accountability. If people miss their milestones, do they get bothered or hassled by the program to update things? Like, is it a way? Yeah, is there accountability built in so that they are reminded to perform on their milestones or encouraged in a way, because that'd be a great tool as well.
Yeah, not only are you is the the visual traffic light there in the My Hub to say you're in the red, you're struggling with your with the data that you input, or the data that's being brought in through API is visually indicated through the My Hub, but you are notified whether you're checking in weekly, monthly, or quarterly to say you've got data waiting for you, right? So you're prompted to jump back into the platform to update your data. You're not reprimanded in the platform. We're not like a performance management tool, so to speak, right? But there are multiple indicators, whether it be you've been emailed to say you've got work waiting for you, or the traffic light system is prompting you based on red, yellow, or green to say where you are.
Yeah, that's cool. Because sometimes, when you have an external software platform, you might just forget to log in for a couple of months. But if it's giving you prompts to come back in, or if you're living in the platform more often, but it's often just as good to give positive feedback when things are hitting, with the green lights, as it is to warn when you've got the red lights as well. So I like that red-green aspect too.
Yeah, 100%. And the achievements earned in the platform do celebrate, completing an objective on time. You've logged in multiple times for the month. We try to gamify the experience as much as you can in this realm.
Awesome.
But yeah, any other questions, guys? No. David?
Excellent. Look, we are spot on time. Perfectly executed. What we should expect when we talk with the experts of execution, shouldn't we? Awesome.
Look, I thank you all for having me on, David. I really appreciate the opportunity. Hopefully, I've touched on everything within the time frame on the platform that I could. If there's further questions that you think of down the line, or you want to spend some time with me more one-to-one, you've got my details. Please reach out. Hopefully, David, this is the first of many.
Looking forward to the next one.
Awesome.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Dean. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Wrapping it up, we hope you all had got value out of this, and wishing you all a wonderful rest of your day and a successful week. See you soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Zane. Thank you very much. See you then.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.